Is the NZXT H1 Mini ITX case still worth buying after the debacle that happened with the PCIe riser cable? So when Team Gamers Nexus found the issue with the pre-installed PCIe riser cable mounting holes that were shorting and catching fire, but then what NZXT did later on also counts to be very important. They actually were giving replacement PCIe riser cables along with dedicated screws, but sort of before that they started giving plastic screws, which really wasn't much of a solution out there, but it was something like a stopgap. However, they started giving replacement PCIe cables. Along with that, they sort of also gave a repair guide, which is kind of like a document to how to change PCI riser cables, which kind of is sort of funny, but then again, you know, they have to give manuals for pretty much everything these days. So yeah, now when that happens, let's just take a closer look into the riser cable itself and what must one do when they want to change the riser cable. So it's pretty much similar. It's exactly the same riser cable that you get. The only difference right here is that they have dedicated mounting holes, unlike the previous one which had many similar holes on one side, and that was the main cause for the sparking issue. But this time they did it proper and they have dedicated mounting holes. Seems like this time the PCI riser cable was specifically made for the NZXT H1. So upon a closer look, we see the PCIe riser PCB, which the mounting holes part of it, which has like a coppering around it, so that is to ensure proper grounding, which is pretty much a standard for all your electronic PCBs where grounding is required. So now we'll show you how to change your PCIe riser cable in the NZXT H1 if you do not like reading manuals. So after you've removed the rear mesh panel as well as you remove the front glass panel, after that you slide off the side cover, which is basically your mesh cover again, C-type. It could be white or black. In this video it is white. So after you've completely opened up the case basically. So yeah, now that you have removed everything, you have access to the graphic card. You need to remove the graphic card first. After you have removed the graphic card, you can see that there are two mounting holes which secure your PCI cable. So that is where you need to remove the screws, the one on the left as you see here, and the one on the right as you see, which you need to use a Phillips head screwdriver to unscrew them. And once you have removed them, you take out the existing PCI cable, keep it aside, bring on the new one, connect it exactly the way it was by using a Phillips head screwdriver and screwing in both the screws in a clockwise direction this time, because that is how screws are fastened. So now that the PCI riser cable has been changed, is this case still relevant? Well, let's look at a little technical facts about it. This particular case now faces a different challenge. Apart from it being all airy and blah blah blah, the challenge is the graphics card. You may have a challenge where you are using the Founders Edition graphics card, in where the airflow is from both sides, from the base of the graphic card to, so that the design of the airflow is from through the graphics card. So over here, if you plan to use a Founders Edition, it's not really advisable to do so. It can get really hot in there. However, if you plan to use a single fan, dual fan, or a triple fan, as long as it fits, then that design is okay, because that case has been somewhat designed around for that kind of graphic cards. So saying that the NZXT H1 has a pre-installed SFX PSU which comes in either 650 watts, 750 watts and 850 watts depending on what model that you are purchasing, and it can house a full-length graphic card, and well, it has a 140 AIO cooler pre-fitted inside, so that's also nice. You are sort of paying for the entire package. Another thing is that you have to take care that when you are using this case, you have to select a CPU which is suitable for a 140 AIO liquid cooler, because then your CPU just may get a little hot and you don't want things really overheating. So you got to take care when you're building a system. You just don't go all out and go with maybe a 5950X or one of those Intel Core i9 processors. So you just got to look into that thing as well. So apart from the new NZXT riser cable, the case remains the same even if you buy it today, and it's a pretty much good case for those who want something small on their desk, and for, let's say, a content creator, a person who works at Photoshop, or just really likes to have a neat desk on their table, something very compact, nothing on the floor, not much wires, etc, etc. And here's another thing: if you are already an owner of the NZXT H1, or if you plan to buy the NZXT H1 today, that would entitle you to get the case, or you can write to NZXT and you can get a free replacement of your PCIe Gen 3 cable upgraded to a PCIe Gen 4 riser cable. That's right, folks. This is one of the biggest advantage you have if you buy, or if you're already an owner of the NZXT H1, is that you get upgraded to the PCIe Gen 4 cable, which is best and much suitable for your RTX 3000 cards which run on Gen 4 lanes, and or if you're using a Ryzen 5000 series processor with a B550 or X570 or X570S motherboard, whichever is, the choices are less, but still, yes, if you are using that, so you are going to benefit from that free upgrade. All you need to do is you need to write to NZXT and get your free upgrade. So yes, that is it for this video. It was short. It was about the NZXT H1 and especially focusing about the PCIe riser cable that you can get. And apart from that, the case, the way it is, it's good, it's nice. It's slightly expensive, but then you don't need to really look into that, because if you add the cost of the case and the power supply and the AIO cooler separately, it pretty much comes down to around the same, but it's less work for you because these are all pre-fitted into the case, and cable management becomes really very nice and simpler. I have built this case myself in my previous video, which you can probably see somewhere over here, the links. And thank you for joining in for this short video. I hope you learned something today, and I'll catch you in our next video. Until then, take care. See you.